time. Tyvis, Ohio State's really freaking good. The floor is yours.
Yeah, they look like the best team in college football right now.
Cook. Yeah, man. It went about the way that I kind of said it would. I know people didn't want to hear that. People didn't want to believe that. It's just nice to see them finally put things together. And the question is, well, why haven't they been doing this all year? And that's a fair question to ask. I think that I was talking to McNuggets about this on the post game. I actually believe that the team up north game taught more than people realized it did. Everybody was so out on this team after they lost that game, and rightfully so. I get why. But in that game, what I think they've learned is that we got a dude on our team that nobody can stop. It's like Marv last year, but a little bit better. Like, this dude can't be stopped by nobody. And in that game, the team up north game, they forgot that. They fell into their own little trap where they wanted to do this physicality thing.
He's 18, right?
Yes.
He would be, I heard somebody say today, he'd be the first pick in the draft.
Yes, he would be.
Yeah.
And I think that because of the way that they lost that game, because of the scrutiny they got, they went back to, listen, we got to get number 4 the ball. Whatever it takes. They're going to try to double them. All right, we know. Oregon knows who number 4 is now. We're going to try to double them. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put you in the slot. We're going to send you in motion, throw you the ball out the backfield. They can't double you that way. We're going to let you use your athleticism. Boom, he scores a touchdown. All right, you still want to double them on the outside? All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put you in the slot. We're going to put you in a bunch formation so they can't double you out the bunch formation. Boom, he gets one-on-one with the safety, turns him around, boom, touchdown. So Chip Kelly has gotten very creative, and they realize that nobody can do anything with number 4. And now you can become that physical team because you open the game up with the pass. Guess what? Now that the box is light. Now run the ball all you want. Travion Henderson, boom, pops it up there, 60-something yard touchdown. So they really are cooking defensively. I tell you what, I was impressed with how they did things defensively because going into that game, I wasn't necessarily worried about the secondary. That wasn't it because I understood. Listen, one thing about Tyvis, I know defense and I know secondary play. One thing I know is
you just refer to yourself in the first person.
Third, yes.
Third person.
So the one thing is that if you got Tej Johnson is a really good wide receiver, very fast wide receiver, really threatens people with his speed. He's coming off of one of his biggest games in the Big Ten championship, 10 catches. I think he had like 180 something yards. Broke the record for the Big Ten receiving game, the Big Ten championship receiving game. How you stop that, because they run a lot of over routes. How do you stop that? Well, you instead of trying to depend on a man-to-man scenario, what you do is you take one of your top safeties and you make him a robber. So if he runs an over route, boom, I'm going to just jump the crosser and we got you there. So funny thing is it's like they was listening to me. They took that and Caleb Downs ends up almost getting the interception on the play. But what I was really impressed with the most was Dylan Gabriel reminds me a lot of Tua Tagovailoa. Let me explain. Tua gets the ball out of his hands 2 seconds, 3 seconds, so you really can't get to him because he does a great job of just getting it out of his hands. And I was worried, this pass rush, it's I don't know if they're going to actually get there to him because he's going to get rid of the ball. Well, what they did was the secondary got so good and they started taking away his read so much that he held the ball for longer than he wanted, and it allowed that pass rush to get there. Going into this game, he got sacked 13 times on the season. They sacked him 8 times last night. So, it went hand in hand. That secondary showed up and it allowed that pass rush to work, and they was frustrated. And don't get me wrong, Oregon has been a great addition to the Big Ten. They had a phenomenal season. First year in the Big Ten, they go undefeated. They win the conference. But they're not ready for that championship run just quite yet. Not saying that they won't be because they dominated the transfer portal. They dominated in recruiting, and Dan Lanning is a really good coach. So they'll get there eventually. But this one meant more to the Buckeyes. The path that they got was perfect. You had to go against the SEC team that you never beat, Tennessee. You beat them. Oregon, you had some stuff on your mind because of how you lost earlier in the season. Then you look at Texas next. Will Howard comes out and said, I never beat Texas when I was at Kansas State, so it's motivation there. And then
I think the winner of that game is the champ?
The winner of this game was the champ to me.
Oh, you don't think Texas has any chance?
Texas got a good offense and defensive line, so I think that the trench play will be very interesting. They also are number 1 in the country in takeaways, so they're going to do some stuff to try to get Will Howard. I think there's going to be, for the first time since the Wolverine games, I think OSU will experience adversity, but I do think they come out victoriously.
Who do you think is going to win tonight, by the way?
I think Georgia's going to win. I know they got the backup quarterback, but I think Georgia's going to win. I actually think Georgia probably makes it to the national championship. I just think when I look at it, it's going to be a defensive game, and I just don't know how much I trust Riley Leonard for Notre Dame. That, to me, is the big factor. But I think both defenses are going to play lights out. I think it'll be close. I got like 17-14, Georgia.
I think you did a great job laying all that out. I ain't got that much. I told Mike upstairs when I looked at that game, Ohio State played like it was personal. See, like, spitting on somebody is like the absolute nastiest thing that you could ever do.
Still would have whooped
and
him.
the amount of disrespect that came from that, Ohio State held on to that. Like, Michigan lost, be damned. Everything we went through, be damned. Once Ohio State seen that they were going to get an opportunity to play Oregon again, like, everything else went out the window. This was man to a man. We was disrespected as a football team, and they went out there, and like you said, they put belt to ass, and they continued to put belt to ass throughout the entire game. It was total domination. What they did learn is
Joe Jackson would be proud.
Yeah, he definitely will be proud. And like Tyvis said, they got that dude at wide receiver, and they exploited that dude, and Oregon couldn't do a damn thing with him. But to me, this was a product of being absolutely disrespected, and when you get disrespected, you get handled.
Ryan Day, I've crushed the guy a million times. He deserves a lot of credit. He's done a very good job. I know it's easy if you're someone like me who's been crapping on Ryan Day to just, instead of giving him credit for these wins, say, where was this against Michigan? And that's a fair thing to say, but you also got to be fair about it.
Yeah.
He has had, as much as he did not have the team ready to play against Michigan, and disappointing as that was, ultimately, it's about winning a championship. And if they do that, then who cares about the Michigan game? And he has had them as ready to play as you possibly can be in these two games.
I don't think you could deny the fact that he loves his players and his players love him. You could tell. I was actually looking at some of like the locker room stuff after the game, and one of the players was like, "This is one of the best effing coaches in the country." Like, they pointed to him and had him on the live and things. So like they definitely love and appreciate him. And I just, like I was telling Mikey, like, to this senior class, like, this is it. Like, if y'all don't win the Natty, like, there's nothing to come back.
There's a lot of wasted talent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you potentially could go down as the most overrated class.
Right.
So I think they realized that, like, when you get older, like me, 30 years old, like I took my kids to the Woody, and it's like I could go up to the national championships like Daddy did this. Or I can go to it's like the Team Up North board. I could be like, look, that's me making that play right there. Like, they don't have those moments. They have now 2 Rose Bowl wins, and that's kind of it. So like for them, they have to win it all and be like, so they can be proud of something. Right. I know that they didn't win against the Team Up North, but like, if that banner's hanging in there to shoe, like, we did that. Like,
that's right.
So like, to me, this is their last shot at that, and I think that they're doing an absolutely good job of doing everything they're supposed to do to make that happen.
So I talked to Tyvis about this on the postgame show last night, but Bull and Earl, I'm curious your guys' opinion. It seems like this Ohio State offense, when Will Howard's dialed in, they're basically unbeatable with all the weapons they have on offense, and he's had his fair share of stinkers. Michigan was certainly not a shining embodiment of what Will Howard can do. Yesterday against Oregon, he was incredible. Or what's your confidence level in Will Howard putting together 2 more really good starts to help close this thing out for Ohio State?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably about a 5. I just think Will Howard has been very inconsistent, and that Michigan game was big. And when I seen him, like, trying to motivate the troops pregame, it didn't do anything to like make me feel like, okay, this is a big game, a big moment, and he got this, right? Now, since that loss, maybe because of that loss, he's relaxed some and just kind of let it be. But like, I would go at a 5 just on the strength, like, I feel like he's inconsistent. And if Will Howard plays like he played yesterday, then we're gonna win the Natty easily, no questions asked. But you didn't put that type of game out there on film. And you just alluded to Texas leads the country in takeaways.
Yep.
So we'll see, what counterpunch Will Howard can throw once they actually start punching at him.
Well, there's a little beef going on because you think Caleb Downs was a finalist for the Thorpe. The Thorpe winner went to Texas. JJ was supposed to win Freshman of the Year. It went to the linebacker from Texas. I told you, Will Howard never beat Texas. So it's some stuff there that's going to make this game interesting where I think it's some personal vendettas that'll go on that'll help propel them. Like I said, I got some questions and concerns with Quinn as a quarterback. As far as his deep ball goes, I think he hangs his deep ball up a little bit too long and it allows DBs to make a play. You go back and watch, them versus Arizona State. He's got Isaiah Bond on the post route, but he hangs it up there and the corner comes back and picks it off at a critical moment of the game, like at the end of the game. So I got my concerns there, but like I said, that defense is gonna be an interesting game. I know right now is 4.5. The opening line is 4.5. Buckeyes favored by 4.5. I think it'll be closer than people anticipate.
Yeah, I'd say my confidence level in him is like an 8 right now. I mean, I know you're right. He's had some inconsistent play. He obviously didn't play well against Michigan. I don't think he played particularly great in the
Tennessee game.
No, yes,
he
did.
He played okay against Oregon the first matchup. I think
he was okay.
He played okay.
He didn't play great in the Northwestern game. He didn't play particularly well. There was one other game in the middle of the season.
Nebraska
that he didn't play very well.
Awful.
But he looks like a different guy right now.
Yeah.
And, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, he's very talented. And I think part of the reason he struggled so much in the Michigan game is because they had a terrible game plan. I don't put it. I mean, some of it is his fault. Sure.
I still think when he got hit like that, I'm curious. I don't know if they was checking him for concussion or a shoulder, but I'm curious because I know he ended up throwing a touchdown after that, but like he just wasn't the same after that hit. So I know they're never going to come out and say what it truly was, but I do think he was affected by that.
But right now they clearly look like the best team in college football.
Yeah.
They have the most talent. They should win the national championship. I still don't like Ryan Day for personal reasons, but I give him his credit. It doesn't matter if I like him or not. He's doing a good job right now, and I think clearly he's – I don't know if he was going to get fired anyway, but it seems like he's probably saved his job.
I don't think he was getting fired regardless.
But it looks like even if he was, he's probably saved his job at this point.
Yeah, I think he done enough to at least, for the fan base to be like, you know what, we can see it through for another year or two.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing is it one of those things where he does so well that he'd be like, all right, I won the Natty, I'm going to the NFL. Wouldn't that be funny? I completed. Boom, I'm going.
I don't think anybody in the NFL's hiring him as a head coach.
He's a good play caller.
He'll get hired. I mean, I wouldn't care.
Maybe he's an offensive coordinator.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not as a head, as an OC.
Okay. I guess that's possible. All right, well, so now they'll play Tech. When's the date of the next game? I can't remember.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
7:30 p.m.
Right.
Yes,
we do have a game tonight because of that awful incident that happened in New Orleans yesterday.
4 o'clock is kickoff, by the way.
They moved it back.
Afternoon.
Okay, so it's today at 4 o'clock. So there you go. But just awful. There was another shooting somewhere else yesterday.
Yes.
Not the New Orleans thing wasn't a shooting. It was
And we're going to talk about the
terrible
non-call targeting situation in the Arizona State-Texas game, which drew a lot of controversy in overtime. We're going to bring Bernie Coach